Alrighty, this game. Let's talk about this game, shall we? The game I don't want to talk about. The game that we gave luck to on the show. Do you know how much a slot on this show goes for, folks? A segment is a couple of K. Hanging the flag is a couple of K. And every canvas for every show is a couple of K. And this Dolphins team had me wear the Dolphins hat and put up the Dolphins canvas, and they had me take down King Henry. They made me take down our favorite canvas of the greatest running back of all time to do this, to put up 3 points, to get absolutely blown out in a meaningful game. You had the playoffs coming into this game, and because of your 3 points, their playoff spot went into vanish. It went up into smoke, folks. So they had me do all this for 3 lousy, garbage, unentertaining, uncompetitive points? What are we doing? What the hell are we doing out here? Damn. So Dolphins get absolutely obliterated by the Titans 34-3. A little bit more of an accurate score is like 24-3. A little bit of a run-up of the score by the Titans at the end of the game, which I've got no problem with. I don't find that as disrespect. Running up the score, run up the score. Score as many points as you can. I don't give a damn about that. But just for overall context, optics compared to context and all that, folks, it was a little bit more around 24-3, which is still bad. I'm not making excuses. I'm just putting it into optics, folks. So these last 10 points here, the field goal and the touchdown. Fourth quarter, Dolphins were down big bad, as we know, and they kept going for it because they had to. They had nothing to lose. They throw an interception. Titans, easy field territory for their touchdown, starting at their own 42-yard line. Field goal starting at Dolphins' 44-yard line. Last touchdown starting at the Dolphins' 38-yard line. So a little bit more of an accurate score of the overall game was about 24-3. But man, oh man, what is going on with this Dolphins offense? Man, the play callers, what are we doing? It's like Tua had his best throw of the game, the big bomb, the big 45-yard strike down the field, and then the very next play, after Tua's best pass of the entire game, the very next play, they go a trick play that loses yards, 45-yard, to Jalen Waddle deep, all arms, slinging the ball, fantastic. And then the next play, it's a direct snap to Myles Gaskin. Tua ends up with the ball somehow, and it's a 2-yard sack. He ends up fumbling the ball. Luckily, the Dolphins got back on top of it. But now, off that big electric play that had all the momentum swing to the Dolphins, and I believe it was at 17-3 at this moment. 17-3, so 17-3 at kind of the start of the fourth quarter, so still had their way to go to try and get back into this game. But I mean, you just had it. You just had that momentum. You were searching all game for it. Came in the fourth quarter, but then you run the trick play. It didn't make any sense. You took all that kind of momentum away from Tua. It seems like that's what this Dolphins team does a lot, and that's why I think Tua gets a bad shake in the media. It's because one great play, they go with Tua, and then they don't build off of that momentum. They go trick play. They have direct snap to not Tua. Why are you taking that momentum out of Tua's hands? I just don't get it. And then the drive stalls after that, because of course it is. Now you're 2nd and 12 behind the sticks. You don't throw the ball that deep. We saw it all game. I don't think it's Tua not going deep. I think it's the offensive coordinator actively not scheming the routes deep for Tua. So I don't know, man. We're going to go into this offseason. Obviously, this game hurts Tua in the national media. This was one of his worst games. I would say this is probably his worst game overall. We usually say he has like one boneheaded play every game, but I counted like 3 boneheaded plays in this game and just not getting it done on the crucial third downs and all that. I'm not putting it all on Tua, but this was his worst game of the year. So, the Tua haters and, everybody that clowns Tua on the daily are running with this game. Okay, we'll let y'all do that. Y'all love doing that. We'll let y'all do it. If y'all love doing it, we'll let y'all do it. But it's going to be an interesting offseason on the Tua talk. Expect a lot of hate on Tua because, this is one of his last performances, his last meaningful performances, and he put up 3 points. Truly not great. So here we go, folks. Let's start breaking down the Tua stats here. Tua goes 18 of 38. 47. Oof, man, that's a low number. I didn't know low numbers got that low. Like 47% completion percentage, 205 yards, not terrible. No touchdown, 1 pick. He fumbled 3 times, lost 1. So here we go. First turnover by Tua. He fumbles. It leads to only 3 points for the Titans. Still, big old 3 points. It's now 10-0 for the Titans off that fumble. Then the interception by Tua came on their last drive of the game. It counts, 7 garbage time points. Once again, optically, that's kind of why we're saying it was more 24-3 overall. But yeah, Tua, not a good game. His worst game of the season. This was his worst game of the season. And this is what's so frustrating about the Dolphins and why Brian Flores cannot be a head coach in this league. Why on every single big game for the Dolphins last year against the Bills last week of the season get absolutely smacked against the Bills both time this season, making up for last season, establishing your dominance in the division, trying to overtake the best team in the division, Bills. You get blown out both times. And then this game against the Titans where you need a win to stay in the playoff picture, you get blown out 34-3. Brian Flores does not get this team ready for the highest pressure-filled situation. And now we get this. Y'all like to knock Tua for a lot of other things that I don't agree with. But what I will knock Tua for is being one of the most unclutchest quarterbacks of all time, folks. Honestly, not just kind of in the moment, all right, we need a touchdown on our final drive of the game. I'm talking about so unclutch that he doesn't even get ready for the big game. 3 points here. The Bills game last season, the Bills performances this season, folks. He does not step up to the plate when it needs to be stepped up. Yes, he was really good during that 7-game win streak, but I mean, you've got to keep it going. This was the biggest game now, and he can't step it up. So, not even can't step it up, can't even be competitive really in it. So, that's the biggest knock I have on Tua heading into next season, but it's a little bit more of Tua and Brian Flores and just overall this entirety of the Dolphins organization coming out flat in the biggest games of the year consistently. Something's got to change. Something's got to change. We see Joe Burrow lighting it up these last 2 weeks. I thought it was a trap bet this week. I thought the Bengals +5 was a trap bet this week. Boy, were we wrong. Joe Burrow is the clutchest quarterback that there is in NFL history. I'll say that. Man, oh man, that man is... Woo! Joe Burrow, Joey B, damn. I can't wait to talk about that game because, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But let's finish up here with the Dolphins and the Titans. Here we go. Tua, bad game. Worst game of his career. I'll say that. Worst game of his career. All right, and then another thing here. What the hell are we doing? Why are we having to sling the ball 38 times when we just established we have a pretty good running core? Duke Johnson, he was getting 7 yards a carry, 7 rushes for 49 yards, and you cut the running game short? Oh, and it was cold and wet and raining in Tennessee, and you still decided not to run the ball? And it's not like you got down that big, that bad. You were down about 17-3, but that doesn't mean abandon the run. You abandon the run when you get down 50 points like the Jaguars were against the Patriots. So I don't understand what we're doing here offensively as a whole. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. That's why I'm not putting it all on Tua. I'll give Tua, his knocks. I've got no problem knocking Tua, folks. We don't. We've got no problem doing so. But I don't think it's as much and as overboard as y'all make it. I think there's more glaring issues on this Dolphins team besides Tua. But the running game, I mean, I don't understand why they didn't stick with it. Duke Johnson, 7 rushes for 49 yards. Myles Gaskin, 5 rushes for 23 yards. So what are we doing here? You're cutting the running game short? I mean, what is this? Every running back here, Duke Johnson, Myles Gaskin, and Philip Lindsay, all individually should have had like 15-plus rushes. And none of them even got to 15 themselves. Philip Lindsay, 2 carries for 1 rush as well. And y'all just started implementing the Wildcat in in-game scenarios. So once again, what are we doing? There's no cohesiveness here. There's no rhythm offensively. And that's what affects Tua. He doesn't get all those deep ball opportunities throughout the course of a game. So when he does get one, I think Tua is kind of compelled to force the ball. And that's where we get a couple of, optically bad throws by Tua. So it's going to be an interesting offseason, folks. We'll try to get to the bottom of it. We'll watch film. We'll dissect and all that. We've got a long offseason, and we'll get down to the bottom of Tua and all the other narratives around every player of every team this offseason, folks. So the work is not done just because the season is almost over, folks. All right, and then finally here for the Dolphins, who was Tua slinging the ball around to? We had Mike Gesicki, leading receiver, 4 catches, 51 yards. Jalen Waddle, 3 catches, 47 yards. Devontae Parker, 4 catches, 46 yards. Durham Smythe, 3 catches, 37 yards. And Duke Johnson, 2 catches for 16 yards. Alrighty, and then on the flip side here, the Titans, folks. See, this is why did the Dolphins not do exactly this? Ryan Tannehill, 18 throws. Deontay Foreman, the running back, 26 rushes. I mean, that's exactly what it should be. But here we go for the Titans. Shout out to the Titans. Their running game, they're starting to get it, consistent. And we've seen the backup running backs here for the Titans get it done. Didn't both running backs against the Patriots have over 100 yards in that game? And now this game, Deontay Foreman, leading rusher, 26 rushes for 132 yards and a touchdown. So watch out for this Titans team. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC, folks. How crazy. Chiefs losing yesterday, and now the Titans are the number 1 seed in the AFC at 11-5. They win. They wrap up that number 1 seed. If they lose against the Texans, then they automatically lose it. So they need to win it to keep it, and they've got the Texans next week on the road. So Titans, number 1 seed in the AFC, first round bye, getting that running game right, giving Derrick Henry an extra week off that bye to get right. Ooh, Titans, folks. Maybe they are the team to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Who knows, folks? But the rushing attack is good, and Ryan Tannehill, we know, needs the rushing attack to be serviceable as a quarterback. So watch out for this Titans team. So let's start here with Ryan Tannehill. He goes 13 of 18. Once again, taking the ball out of his hands. It was raining. It was wet, all that. You don't rely on Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball 40 times a game because that's not Ryan Tannehill. So the geniuses of the Titans coaching staff, it shines every game. Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. Give him the award. It's fantastic. Ryan Tannehill, 72%, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He fumbled once but didn't lose it. Rushing game, like we said, Deontay Foreman, 26 rushes for 132 yards and a touchdown. Dontrell Hilliard, 8 rushes, 45 yards and a touchdown. And then Jeremy McNichols, 2 rushes for 14 yards. And then, Tannehill takes off 4 times for 7 yards himself. And who was Tannehill slinging the ball to? We had A.J. Brown, leading receiver, 2 catches, 41 yards. Dontrell Hilliard, 3 catches, 33 yards. Anthony Fursker, 3 catches, 24 yards, 1 touchdown. Shout out to Tight End University. Chester Rogers, 2 catches, 13 yards. And once again, shout out to Tight End University. Jeff Swaim, 3 catches, 9 yards, and the touchdown. Ryan Tannehill, tight ends. Ryan Tannehill with the running backs. Classic Ryan Tannehill. But they get the win and the number 1 seed in the AFC. They win 34-3. And I'm going to put this team in playoff contender category. So let's get that up here quickly. Titans, I just can't rely on Tannehill by himself to get it done. So I really can't put the Titans in Super Bowl contender, but they're right up there at the top of the crop in the playoff contender. We haven't seen Ryan Tannehill get it done in the playoffs ever in his career. So by himself, we know that's not him. That's not his game. So Titans are kind of at their max ceiling at playoff contender, but we definitely do have to move this Dolphins team. Obviously no longer Super Bowl contenders because of that performance. So they're gone off this list, and they were truly playoff pretenders the whole time. Right in front of us. Fake the whole time. Shame on us. But, Yeah, shame on I can't even do a but. Shame on us. Shame on us. Dolphins defense was great and still gave up 34 points. Truly pretenders all along. Dolphins end the year in playoff pretender category. How unfortunate.